The controversy over curves is taking a new twist as slim celebrities are suddenly flaunting big backsides. And now some are wondering if all the emphasis on popular body images is distorting reality.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
The video model in Sir Mix-a-Lot's 1992 classic would hardly be considered big by 2016 standards. Not true of actress Blake Lively's red carpet Instagram pics. Her caption, "LA face with an Oakland booty," is lifted from his lyrics. She endured some snide comments on social media, but from Kim and Khloe Kardashian to Jocelyn Hernandez of Love and Hip Hop to superstar Nicki Minaj, women of every background are opting for a bigger and rounder rear view. Queen Afua, best-selling author of The Sacred Woman, is concerned.
We want the fast, quick happening, but we don't really get the full results because it's not just the outer world and the outer body. You're really healing the inner body. So beauty really starts from inside the woman.
Pop star Meghan Trainor was shocked to see her natural curves exaggerated with a super tiny waist, photoshopped in by her video director, and demanded a reshoot.
My waist is not that teeny. I had a bomb waist that night. I don't know why they didn't like my waist, but I didn't approve that video, and it went out for the world.
Ashley Graham made history by being the first plus-size model on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. And she's a strong advocate for loving who you are. But Dr. Rob Silverman believes the focus needs to be on more than appearance.
It's very disconcerting to me to see this because we're going by body images and we really should be going by body composition. Now, what I mean by that is, as opposed to what we think the hourglass is for the woman, we should be taking like a body electrical impedance analysis and ascertaining muscle to fat.
Standards about what's desirable vary, but criticism is a constant, whether a woman is considered too skinny or too fat or not curvy enough. Shaming has unfortunately become a part of everyday life.
And there's a lot of body shaming and a lot of expectations for women in society. I think they should teach women how to love their bodies the way they are, not teach them how to change it.
Being a certain body shape doesn't define who you are, because for me it's like your personality.
For me, it's look good, feel good.
You can't get away from these body images. They're everywhere. Now let's find out what our panel has to say about this. Joining us, LaShawn Paul. She's a licensed clinical social worker. Her website is socialworkdiva.com, and she's also a mental health advocate. LaShawn, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. Also with us is Supernova SLOM. We call him hip-hop's medicine man. He's a hip-hop artist himself. He's also a health and wellness expert and author of the book, The Remedy. Supernova, great to have you back.
Salute.
We're happy to have you. Also with us, you have seen her face in many, many ads. You've seen her on TV. Her image is out there all over Instagram and social media. She's one of the most famous plus models. She's a top plus model. She also is a business owner, Life of a Working Model Boot Camp, the one and only Lyris Cross. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. LaShawn, I want to start with you. The pressures that people feel, are these real? Are these imagined? Are these self-imposed? Or is it because of society?
Some of these images are just really imagined, right? Everything is really, our perception of body image is literally just the thoughts we think about our body. And depending on if it's positive or negative, that's just really just our own feelings. And there is some form of reality involved in it because it's just kind of necessary to just figure out who we are and how we fit in society, and these thoughts, how it really affects us.
And Supernova SLOM, we talk a lot about women, and women obviously have been concerned about this issue for a long, long time. Right. And yet now the guys are getting the pressure and getting the heat too, because what used to be he's a big guy or he's just a big dude is now like he might be an unhealthy fat guy.
Yes, in my community at wellnesssalute.com, a lot of people ask me, what is the first steps to take for health and wellness? And I say it's a mental strengthening attitude. You have to love thyself. That's the first cornerstone of health and wellness. And whether it be the men or women, you have to have we have to establish a conversation of, do you love and appreciate yourself? Then from there, I can help them build a nutritional program and to complement that attitude, and and give them an opportunity to grow and develop in that stance. So it starts with that you first, in the mental attitude you have for yourself,
regardless of what's out there.
Because a lot of times people what they do is they try to go for an external standard right? And they chase that. And so they go to a diet, they go through like a back and forth yo-yo and end up 4 or 5 years in the same place. So if you start with self-love and appreciation and you grow from there and you can actually complement health, wellness, and motivation around those principles, then you can see a turnaround.
Lyris Crossey's talking about an external standard, and boy, was that prevalent in the modeling field.
Oh, definitely. It's always prevalent. We're always judged on our looks. And even in the modeling world, there are standards. There's height standards, there's proportion standards, there's measurement standards. So even in my industry, we definitely still have to live up to a standard.
And what about as a plus model? What have you encountered? Have people said to you, why don't you just become a regular model, or do you think plus models get the respect they deserve?
Well, we get a certain amount of respect. I think the tide is changing, where our world is changing, where we're starting to embrace different body types a lot more now. But a lot of times people just think plus model and they think either you're morbidly obese or, oh, you're just someone who doesn't care about your body, which is not true. Most plus models, they care about their health. Most plus models work out, take care of our bodies, because we do have to be proportionate and we have to have good skin, great bodies, and I'm a big believer in that you can be plus size and still be fit.
Yes, that's right.
And
Yeah,
I think
true.
a lot of times our society does not know that, but they're starting to know that through all the different bloggers and models who are now starting to take over social media.
Yeah. Supernova Islam, what about that? Can you be, I mean, this is a question, where do you draw the line between, you know, being plus size or being a certain size and being fit and being fat and unhealthy?
So we're all different body types and different structures and different genetic compositions, and I feel that, you know, if we can encourage people and empower them where they're at, and they're motivated to do some type of physical fitness, you know, our bodies are meant to move. That's where we're constructed. So empowering them where they're at and helping to let them know the fundamentals, like hydrating your body daily. Your body's 80% water, so the more water you have in your body, the more fruits and vegetables you have that have water in them, allow your body to be in an alkaline environment, a real healthy environment. So just the basic applications of those things. Someone has to find their own root of what sparks in them. And I think that if we encourage people where they're at, whether they're thin, whether they're middle size or plus size, and we can give them that encouragement, a universal encouragement and love, then that will be a motivating factor. And I agree with everything Sis is saying, is that you shouldn't just be judged just, you know, based on the physical appearance. Some people are smaller physically, but they may have some emotional heaviness weight. So they may aesthetically appear to be all that, but they may be dealing with some other emotional things, whereas someone may be a little more heavy on the side and may have a different mental attitude. So I think that we can learn from each other regardless of the phenotypes and how we may show up.
LaShawn, what about that? These stereotypes, because there was the thing of if you're fat, you're lazy. If you're not skinny, you know, if you're skinny, you're healthier, which isn't necessarily the case. If you're starving yourself, you know, starving yourself to do it. But also what we've seen, especially with the girls, it's like younger and younger girls now are worried about their, you know, weight.
I think what you pointed out was exactly the big myth, right? Is of that if you're fat, you're lazy. And I've like through Black Girls Run and other different organizations, women who are plus size or larger who are running marathons compared to other people who aren't necessarily physically fit at a smaller level. Right. And I think one of the big things is actually really finding their why and understanding how is it that they want to be healthy and what wellness really is. Yes. And it's a necessary part is to kind of deprogram that and not necessarily marginalize the plus size community. Yeah. Embrace them and teach them wellness and teach our kids that from a much earlier age, how to stay active and engaged.
Lyris, what about our society standard of beauty? Because we saw the first Sports Illustrated cover, plus size cover model with Ashley Graham, who's a motivational speaker as well, and she's out there talking with people. It was great. And also with and also embracing the different ethnic concepts of beauty and racial concepts of beauty. Do you think we're making progress?
We're definitely making progress. Now, I'll say, I don't want to see our world do one Sports Illustrated cover with a plus model and then 10 years from now we don't see another one till then. We need it to be a consistent thing where it's every year now Sports Illustrated should have a plus model in their swimsuit issue. It needs to be consistency across the board.
And not just like a little marginalization.
Why is there, okay, we're going to do a curvy issue once a year. If the average American woman is a size 14, That means most of the women cannot identify with the magazine, with the models that they see in magazines daily. So why would you put them into one issue a year where they can say, oh, okay, great, I can buy clothes from this company? That's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
There's so much more to it.
So much more to it.
Coming up, we'll find out what our panel has to say about your mental attitude and your physical state of health. That's coming up next.
Let me drop a bomb on you. All men in this country that are attracted to women always had a closeted crush on bigger women.
We wanted to prove.
I want to talk about that issue of the size 14 being the average size of the American woman. You would never know that from looking at ads.
Never know that.
Yes.
Yeah, you would never know that.
When you go to a store and they either stop at a 12 or they stop at a 14. And then is that 14 European cut or is it American cut? Because I go into stores and people say, okay, yeah, you're on the smaller side of plus. Yeah, but I can go into a store and look for a size 14 and it not fit me because of the size of my boobs or the size of my butt. So it just goes to show you, we have to show more sizes. We need to pull out the size ranges and accommodate women across the world.
And do you think it needs to be integrated into just the regular mainstream of images? So it's not just like you have this separate section that's plus models, that we need to be more realistic.
It needs, it needs to be more universal. I think women have more pressures than men. Men show up more universally in Western culture in their different manifestations, and it's celebrated. You know, you have women that celebrate plus size men, and it's cool to have that, or slender sized men or muscular built men. So men have more a diversity of celebration, and women have, in my observation, my humble observation, women seem to be more pressured to fit certain type of ideals, you know, of beauty. And I think that if we begin to celebrate everybody in their power, again, it's about mental health. I think that's the first thing. We were talking earlier about what's people's thoughts inside, and your first killer is your mental attitude to yourself. You know?
No, exactly. And you're talking about mental health. LaShawn Paul, is this a form of narcissism? Because it does seem like everybody's obsessed about something.
I think
with their body, with their look, whatever. I
think we are just like so inundated with images in regards to physical fitness just in our society. And like the fact that a lot of people don't know that the average size for a woman is a size 14 is part of the issue, because we're not really seeing the images that really affect the way we're socialized and what we necessarily are taught about ourselves and how to love ourselves and what we believe. And that just goes back to having a positive body image and just accepting yourself for really who you are, and not to say that you don't want to make yourself either smaller or healthier in another different way, but to just start where you are and move from there.
But what impact has social media had on the way that women in particular perceive themselves? Because, you know, we saw everybody from the woman called Fit Mom that had the six-pack abs and the 3 little kids, and she's like, what's your excuse?
Right.
And, you know, to all the Instagram models that are out there showing off pretty much everything.
Waist trainer, detox tea, everything. I'm actually going to focus on another point of social media. There are a lot of women who are coming out and they are embracing their bodies at whatever size they are, and they're posting it on social media. And it amazes me sometimes how we see men and women react to those images of fuller size women. And it's like they're so used to seeing the girl who's in the waist trainer and who's got the booty injection and who's been under the knife a million times that they can't even realize what a regular woman looks like, what she grows into be.
Oh, that's an excellent point.
Yeah. And that's the part that's scary to me.
Because we have these unrealistic images.
Totally unrealistic.
Supernova Slom, what about the extent that people are going, the kinds of things, some of these crazy diets, some of the, you know, the injections, and just people just going places and not really knowing.
Again, it's an external journey that over time, you know, you're going to have to always face back to yourself. Like, and I tell my community all the time, you know, you have to take a self accountability. You know, and again, if you love and appreciate yourself, begin to learn to do that, you know, because sometimes we may not know what that may be coming up in certain households, certain type of culture and social constructs. You may not know what self-love is, and you may be a taboo, right? So nurturing yourself and treating yourself kindly and understanding the mental fortitude has to go into your health.
What about, but mentally healthier too, do you think, LaShawn?
I believe food plays a big impact in mental health. Like I do a lot of holistic means and incorporating food for diet, and and exercise within my practice. And like, in order to better ourselves just as a society, one, it really does start with the food, and necessarily in just the way our body chemically processes just even energy and thought.
Yes.
It's very important.
Lyris, what do you think? Some emotional triggers.
Whatever we do on the outside is definitely because of something that's going on the inside. So we always need to look at the root cause of what is causing us to do whatever it is on the outside. Because our outside manifestation is only about what's going on the inside.
When we come back, I'm going to ask our panel, are we in danger of becoming a nation of people who believe we are not good enough as we are? And what impact will that have on our future? That's coming up next.
There is a lot of pressure on women to look a certain way, to act a certain way.
Everybody wants everybody to be skinny, have big butt, big chest, you know, and not everybody's like that.
Everyone is unique. I think love yourself and love life.
The dad bod is okay. You got the little, spare tire and the whole thing. But the mom bod is not okay.
But see, this is why I start to follow men who, on my social media, who celebrate and appreciate women of all different sizes. They appreciate skinny women just as much as they appreciate fat women or curvy women. And those are the people who I appreciate. So I'm not getting a skewed perception of, only like the girl who has a size 23 waist and 36 hip. Do you know how hard and unattainable that is? It's very hard.
Let me drop a bomb on you. All men in this country that are attracted to women always had a closeted crush on bigger women, curvier women. All men, they didn't come out and say. I think now when you see,
is it closeted?
No. Let me talk.
Why did it have to be closeted?
No, it goes into what y'all were talking about as far as perception and cultural norms and society pressures. I'm against it as far as not being out about it. Celebrating women of all ethnicities, all shapes and sizes. But I'm saying is that the interesting about it is all men always love bigger women. They just now starting to celebrate it now.
I don't even want to just put it on the men judging women,
I was
but
just
the
going to
women
ask you about
judging
the
women.
shame. Yeah, absolutely.
And shaming, actually, when I pay attention on social media, it's coming from other women, like hashtag snapback and all this stuff. A snapback is literally when a woman gets back to her same size she was or better before she had a baby. And I'm a mom of a 2-year-old, and I work with various different women from various different cultures, and they have this obsession with getting back to their own healthier self before, not really giving themselves the time to even naturally heal after having a baby.
That's a good point. Wow.
Or it's also women have these unattainable goals of trying to get back to the size of where they were when they were in high school, not realizing your high school body is totally different from your grown woman body. My grown woman body is a size 14. My high school body was a size 6. I will never be a size 6 again, and I'm okay with that.
What about the acceptance? Like, how do you encourage them to take positive steps for their health without making them feel bad where they are?
I think it's literally to meet them where they are is ultimately where it's necessary. To teach them that I love you, I care about you, and I just want you to be healthy. Not focusing on the calories and the weight, and that's a part of the problem. We're just so focused on the number rather than the physical fitness of it.
She's hitting it.
I totally agree with you there, because I have women who come to my Life of a Working Model boot camp, and some of them really do want to get into modeling, but I do know that they're past a weight that they can be to really professionally model. And I tell them, look, I don't want you to lose weight for modeling. I want you to lose weight for yourself, for your health.
That's how it all comes down
to both of their points. What I usually do with my clients is that when we do any wellness program, the first 30 days before they start any eating, I take them through a self-love and appreciation
program. And I want to talk about that.
And that's steps, because you have to really get into the culture of loving and appreciating yourself.
And I'm going to stop you on that. And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Fox Monday.
Kill them all.
Professor Strange! Now you're going to pay!
I really appreciate it, and I want to thank all of you for this
you.
awesome episode of
Thank you,
Street
Lisa.
Soldiers. LaShawn Paul, Supernova Slom, and Lyra's Cross. Thank you all so very, very much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Remember, use your mind. It's your best weapon. I hope it's your only weapon. I'm Lisa Evers. Let's push for peace.